Thank you for tuning in to the Que Onda Show with your host, Dee Dee Blaze, here on this great radio station. The Que Onda Show is a variety show specializing in the entertainment world in music, movies, television, sports, and other specialties. For the next hour, Dee Dee will bring you some interesting interviews to entertain and educate. So, if you're listening to this program at home or at the office, your smartphone, or your car, let's begin with Dee Dee Blaze on the Que Onda Show.
Hi, this is Dee Dee Garcia Blaze with the brand new Que Onda Show, a radio show that shines a light on Chicanos and Latinos and artists and those who don't mind working with our community. And with me today is a special guest, Jesse Borrego, a Chicano actor well known for the Blood In and Blood Out movie. Welcome to the show, Jesse.
Hey, how you doing, Dee Dee? ¿Cómo están, Raza? Everybody out there in Radio Land?
Bien, bien. Thank you. The theme for the show is Blood In, Blood Out, and I think that every Chicano that I know enjoyed that movie because of a lot of the quotes that are scripted in that movie are quotes that we use and we've used today. It's just really become a culture, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think that's what's great about the work that we were able to do with that. I like to tell people that at that time we had an idea of what we were doing, but we didn't realize how it was going to impact pop culture, not just Chicano, Latino culture, but also Latin American culture. I mean, it's very well known, muy conocida en México, como Sangre por Sangre, and you know, to a lot of Latin America, it was, again, some sort of representation of something that they have gone through and that they've experienced. And for others, it was an eye-opener. It was kind of like, wow, you know, this is a very true American culture. Mm-hmm. And so I think it transcended its narrative and its original intention. And I think it was the same thing with the writing. Jimmy Santiago Baca, Chicano writer out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, has won so many national literary awards, was executive producer and also the writer, the main writer. And so he was able to take the Blood In, Blood Out script and really make it into something exceptional. You know, the film came out as Bound by Honor. Disney wound up changing the name of the film right before it came out in the theaters, but then they changed it back to Blood In, Blood Out when it went to video, and that's when it really became a cult favorite amongst the Raza. And I think it's like you said, they recognize the vernacular, they recognize the onda, they recognize the references, and I think that was partly not only what Jimmy was able to do with it, but also what I was able to do with the character of Cruzito, and more importantly, what I think Adan was able to do with the images. When Taylor Hackford first approached me to do this film, he said you can either do the cop or the artist, and I knew that as the Chicano artist, a character that had never been seen in American cinema, that I could do something different. And I think part of that was the images that Adan was able to create. So, it was interesting. They were both from San Antonio, so when we hooked up, it was like an immediate brotherhood, and I think that's what this Blood In, Blood Out art collection is about. Blood In, Blood Out art collection is about. It's about showcasing the images that were created out of this, this film, this piece of work. So I don't think Hollywood Pictures knew what it was doing. And that's Disney, that's Hollywood Pictures. And so I think at some point they were very afraid of it. That's why they kind of changed the name to Bound by Honor. That's why they kind of delayed the release. All of this happened, but they couldn't stop what the story was, which is, a reflection of our true narrative and our true culture. And I think Adan's art represents all of that. And so when I found out that coming back to San Antonio, he still had a lot of the major collection in his possession, the mural from the end of the movie, Carnalismo, and this thing is impressive when you see it all the pieces together, and he has it up there. It's awe-inspiring, and, you're amazed to see it. And then he's got a lot of the other pieces, the Aztec heads, he's got a lot of the heroine series, La Media Cruz, The Death of Juanito, the one that I cut, the original uncut one. He's got that one. And so I think when people come and they see that we have this collection right in their backyard, in their barrio, it's going to be the beginning of that Chicano Fine Arts Museum. And that collection then will be the anchor to the continuation and the growth and development of the Chicano Fine Arts Museum wherever we wind up. You know, hopefully it'll be somewhere in San Antonio where people from all over the world can visit, you know.
Well, I know it's my understanding, Adan Hernandez said you guys have an upcoming event on July 11th.
Yeah, this coming weekend. Yeah, we're fundraising. I mean, we've been doing a lot of art events. Last year, Adan and David Reyes produced a series of shows called Sangre por Arte, and so that was again an attempt to capture lightning in a bottle and promote this collection while we have it. And now Adan, with his new movement to create the Chicano Fine Arts Museum, is using the collection, the Blood In, Blood Out art collection, to, you know, raise awareness and to raise funds for a Chicano Fine Arts Museum. You know, we need a home for a collection like this. This is a priceless collection, and it's got to be somewhere like Fort Knox. You know, it's got to be in a San Antonio Museum of Art. It's got to be somewhere important like that. And then from there, I think we're going to be able to bring all of these incredible Chicano artists and their collections to this museum. You know, you're talking about generations of vatos, because remember, the character of Cruzito was trying to represent, and the reason I wanted to play that character was he was trying to represent generations of people and artists that have been doing it that have never been shown in major museums, whose collections have disappeared, you know, into people's storage rooms and garages, you know. And so I think it's time to showcase these people that Adan was inspired by and, you know, grew up from, and not just in Texas, but, you know, Calipas, all the Asco people, all the, you know, and they're still doing it right now. A lot of those artists are still around. But at that time, you know, you defined yourself as a Chicano artist, as a Latino artist, as a Mexican-American artist, as, you know, whatever you defined yourself as, there was a time when you felt an activist part of you calling yourself Chicano. And I think there's enough of us left still that we can make a case that there's generations of Chicano artists. And so I think something like this, something really commercial like the Blood In, Blood Out art collection will bring attention to that, you know, because there's such well-known images and pieces, you know. There's this one piece called The Vatos Locos, and it's Benjamin, it's Paco, Frankie, and Chuy. But if you look at it, all those three guys went on to become have major careers, and that was their first, like, little movie, you know what I mean? And they went on, you know, Valente Rodriguez, who's from Texas actually, wound up becoming, you know, Ernie, George Lopez's best friend in the George Lopez show. You know, Raymond Cruz went on to have a career, Training Day, Breaking Bad, you know, Benjamin Bratt, you know, he's got an ongoing career. So it's incredible to see Adan having painted these guys when they were young actors in this film as the characters, you know. And so I think when you see pieces like that, you see them framed up, it gives you chills, you know, and you just go, wow, this is ours. This belongs to us. And so when a Chavalón from the barrio looks at something like that, then he believes that he can become anything. And that's Mayor Julian Castro. That's, you know, Secretary of HUD, Julian Castro. That's Henry B. Gonzalez, you know, senators and state representatives. You know what I mean? And eventually presidents and leaders, CEO leaders of companies, and, you know, teachers. And so then now what Adan does is he teaches a lot. And so it makes sense. You know, he's giving back that kind of thing, the gift that he's been given.
Are you going to be at at the fundraiser this July 11th at 8800 Broadway in San Antonio?
Absolutely. I will be there. I'm, like I said, I'm one of the producers of this art collection and one of the founders of the Chicano Fine Arts Museum. And so I think as much as I can be a part of anything that we do like this, it's important. Because when the people see me, they get it. They get me and Adan and the art. They see it all together. They kind of get it. Because my career's gone beyond Blood In, Blood Out. I was already, by the time Blood In, Blood Out was catching up, I had already done Con Air. I had already done, 24. So in actuality, Blood In, Blood Out was kind of like this cult thing. I already had a television career from Fame, with Janet Jackson. So I already had a career that went beyond Blood In, Blood Out, but to me, I knew that when I was doing it, that it was, my performance was my gift to my Raza. And I said things that only in code, that only my Raza understands. But they get the jokes, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's why we love it.
Exactly. I did that for a reason, because I knew that the rest of it was for everybody, was for Hollywood, was for and people vibe off that movie. I mean, it's incredible to see, how people of all colors, classes, races vibe off that film. And, it was a professional Hollywood film. It wasn't a Latino film. It was a Hollywood film. It was Disney Pictures, Hollywood Pictures. It was Taylor Hackford, Officer and a Gentleman Against All Odds. Producer of La Bamba, Devil's Advocate, director of Devil's Advocate. So Taylor Hackford's a big-time director. He's Academy Award winning. So that movie was supposed to win Academy Awards. But when all the negative press came out from American Me, they kind of took Disney kind of stepped back and said, and so they that's when they changed the name to Bob by Honor. But they couldn't stop it, The story was there. We'd done the work already. And so I think in that sense it transcended what its original root was, which was telling the story really of the growth of a Chicano syndicate in prison. That was the original story.
Well, you've got a supporter in me, and I'm going to contribute to the Chicano Fine Art Gallery that you are working on with Adan Hernandez.
For that you get an autograph and a hug and a picture. And you get invited to the party. Yeah, you get invited to the party with the mariachis and todo. Well, we're going to have lowriders out there. We're going to have some viejitos and bonitas car clubs out there, push rods. We're going to have all kinds of visiting dignitaries. But I'll be out there. Adan will be out there. We'll be signing prints of the artwork, but we'll have the mural, Carnalismo. We'll have the Death of Juanito. We'll have the real painting. You
got it. And I want to just inform my audience, too, if you don't live in Texas, please contribute funding for this Chicano Fine Art Museum. Now is our time. The Chicanos in our age groups are ready to accept the torch and continue with the Chicano movement. It never died.
Absolutely. And they're sharing this film, and they're sharing this story with all generations, so we may as well share the art and make it ours, because it belongs to us. It doesn't belong to Hollywood, so that's the beautiful thing about it.
Absolutely. And please look for Adan Hernandez on Facebook if you want to find out how to contribute funding. He has that information available. Same with Jesse Borrego.
Crazy with a K, Crazy Vatos SA on Facebook.
Orale, well, we're going to stalk you, Jesse. Thank you so much for being on the Que Onda show, and we're just really honored, and I'm absolutely stoked that knowing the details that, you had a choice of becoming a cop or an artist, and you chose the artist way, and you're continuing to inflict Chicano power in the arts even today, several decades later.
I love it. All the way. Si se puede, Raza. Si se puede.
Thank you.
Who's going to do it? You got it, dude. Hope to see you out there, everybody, and keep looking out for us.
Let's continue the program in a minute. You're listening to The Que Onda Show. We'll be right back. Need to get away for a while to rejuvenate? Then consider a vacation house in the beautiful East Valley of Mesa, Arizona, near a variety of water parks, rivers, and lakes, and other types of entertainment to wash the stress away. Just go to www.redmountainstay.com to get started on your vacation arrangements. Or call 480-436-9005 to reserve your stay. Also a great idea for Arizona residents wanting a vacay stay. Corporate housing is also available. Ask your representative for more details.
Promoting cultural awareness, togetherness, and education through the arts. We're CRN.
Now, let's continue with the Que Onda Show.
Hi, this is Didi Garcia Blaze with the Que Onda Show, a radio show program that shines a spotlight on Chicanos and Latinos, particularly Mexican-American artists, and we promote their art on this show, quite frankly, and just a little bit of a tidbit. If you take a look at the entire Latin/Hispanic population pie, you'll find that approximately 70% of that Hispanic population pie consists of Mexican-American Chicanos. With me today is the son of migrant workers, Adan Hernandez, who was born in Childress, Texas on October 15th, 1951. Hernandez, who has been actively painting the past 2 decades, has had his work exhibited in museums in the United States and in Mexico. In 1991, his work caught the attention of film director Taylor Hackford of La Bamba and Devil's Advocate, who signed him up to create more than 30 original paintings, drawings, and a mural, and to also star in a cameo role for the 1993 epic barrio cult classic Blood In, Blood Out. Hernandez's work merges neo-expressionism with Chicano noir. The aesthetics in his art evoke emotions of alienation, uncertainty, desperation, and loss, which dominate the Chicano experience. In describing his work, Hernandez says, "The high drama and highly charged content in my work reflects the day-to-day epic struggle of life in the barrio. Here, the challenge to overcome overwhelming adversity, which we celebrate in films, is a common occurrence." Welcome to the show, Adan.
Thank you for having me, and I want to say hello to all my Raza out there and all my followers who have, followed my career. Buenas tardes y que todos estén bien. Que la Virgen me los bendiga.
As you know, we are focusing this 1-hour show on the theme Blood In, Blood Out, and Blood In and Blood Out, the barrio experience, Chicanos, the Chicano living. And one of the things that caught my attention about, in reading your bio was how you used art to evoke emotions of alienation, uncertainty, and desperation. But the one word in your bio that really kind of penetrated my heart was the emotion of alienation and desperation. Can you and loss? Can you hone in on the loss? You know what I mean? I want to. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, it has to do with, we lose so many of our, especially some of our younger kids, like teenagers, to prison, and a lot of them because of gang violence and desperation because of poverty. This vicious cycle of poverty seems to never end. And a lot of them lose their heads and, they get into trouble and sometimes end up, getting in gang fights and stuff. So that's where the loss comes from. And for many years, when I used to paint these images in my art, I didn't really know where it was coming from. I was just painting intuitively. Mm-hmm. And then until years later did I realize that's why I was painting what I was painting, because that was my reflection of life as a Chicano. I was never in a gang, but a lot of my brothers, I'm the oldest of 6 brothers. A lot of my younger brothers had friends who were, in gangs, and, they had terrible losses in their lives.
The desperation, is that where you're sort of talking about when sometimes Chicanitos at a young age turn to the drug culture?
Yes, to dealing or, slinging, just to either survive in their own environment around other gangs, or just to get out of the vicious cycle of poverty. It's just, I think that if you impose poverty on anybody, on any class of people or race of people, that they will turn to criminal activity, And a lot of people would ask me, because a lot of my work is dark and it's nighttime, and people would ask me, why is your work so dark? And, why is it always like brooding? And I thought, well, most of my raza lives in the shadows of the American dream. They're not like part of a mainstream America. A lot of them are shunned just for being Mexicanos or Mexican Americans even. And for no good reason other than we're the hardest workers in America. We do the real work in this country. Screw Donald Trump. I mean, we do the real hard work in this. I mean, I don't think that guy's ever worked a day in his life,
Well, I'm pretty sure we built his hotels.
Yeah, right. But we're always constantly being attacked by people who could not even be near the human beings that our gente was when I was growing up. And to this day, the hardest workers, I saw grandmothers and grandfathers working in the fields picking cotton when I was growing up, and the women and the teenage girls along with the men and working in the fields. And they were the most solid people as far as character and humility and, cariño and helping others out without being asked. I mean, they were the most beautiful people. Y quiero decirle a todo el mundo que la raza, mi gente, los mexicanos, son una de las gentes más lindas en todo el mundo.
Oh, that's the purpose of the show is, too long this Hispanic and Latino label has been causing, Cubanos como Senator Ted Cruz de Texas, who forgot that his own father, he bribed his way over here, and este Cubano, he duped the Mexicanos who voted for him, because he used to be at one point for immigration reform. I attended an event that he spoke at where George P. Bush was also there several years ago, and he used to be for immigration reform. So that, the Mexicanos made este son of a Cuban immigrant popular, and then he gets elected within the Republican Party and turns his back and completely does a 180.
Sold us out as usual.
And that's the purpose of the show, is to sort of take control, go back to what made us strong with the Chicano movement and the Chicano power. But the reason why I wanted to talk about and hone in on Blood In and Blood Out, I love that movie. There was so many phrases in there that we used when I was a kid.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. Me and Jesse Borrego, who played Cruzito in the film that I did the art for, we have been talking to kids in high school since the movie came out.
Okay.
Because even though it was released very quietly because of the Rodney King incident, which was raging at the time, our Raza still found that movie. And when it went to VHS, they went crazy. And, you could not keep it on the shelf. And a lot of them wouldn't even return it to Blockbuster. And I thought, that is so beautiful. But me and Jesse have been going and talking to kids, and right away we have their attention. The hardest kids, some of them on the verge of being gangsters. And I mean, we get there with my arte, and we start talking to them, and we have their attention. And then once we have them entertained with the arte, we can teach them life's lessons, right? Try to save some, from the pitfalls of our gente, of being Chicano and growing up in the barrios. dirt poor. So in that way, we are blessed that we can reach these chavalos and chavalas. And I mean, we love doing it, and we've gone all the way to Coachella, California, you know, to talk to a whole high school of kids. In 2 days, we talked to 3,000 kids or so. And
what's the message that you give them? Like when you're up there on the stage talking to Chicanitos, what do you say?
Well, I tell them that I grew up as a migrant worker. I have 5 brothers under me. Not one of us were ever in a gang, and that we grew up picking crops, and we grew up in a brutal environment of hard work. Yet, you know, I still became an artist. All my brothers, thank God, are, you know, successful in their careers and what they do. And so I tell them, look, if you only knew what your parents and grandparents went through to get you to this point where you are right now, you would never do foolish things like do drugs or get into gangs. You would do your best to show them how much you appreciate their suffering to get you here. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them have pride, you know, when we tell them that, because they're so caught up in the mainstream bullshit, you know, that, you know, run over anybody you can to make it. And I tell them, no, don't do that. Don't ever, you know, trample over other people's dreams to get what you want, because it's only, your success will be only temporary. Mm-hmm. You know, the walls will come crashing down soon after. And I tell them, when things get really bad, just keep doing your best. Don't lose hope, because when things are really bad, the best things are yet to come. And that's what happened to me with Blood In, Blood Out. When Blood In, Blood Out came along, I was in the lowest.
No, go ahead. You were in the
I was at the lowest point in my career. I was thinking about just quitting as an artist and just getting a regular job. And then, but I never stopped working. For 10 years, I worked and I sold very little art, and I did a lot of portraits, which I hated to do, to buy paints and you know, to pay the bills. But I was like, okay, you know, I'm not going anywhere because I'm a Chicano artist. Museums don't give a damn about us at all. I can tell you that. They don't care about our culture. They don't care about our contributions to the art world. Blue chip galleries también. They're like, oh, we can't understand the title because it's in Spanish. You know, they give you some lame excuse. And they never want to market us to the world. They want us to stay in the shadows. You know, they want us to just go away. But most Chicano artists have been starved out of existence, you know. They just give up and just get a job as a janitor or something, a garbage man or whatever, you know. But so that is why me and Jesse are trying to establish this Chicano Fine Arts Museum here in San Antonio. And we've been trying to do it for 15 years, and nobody has wanted to help us. Nobody. All these organizations, foundations, and, you know, rich Mexicanos here and there, nadie. Nobody gives a damn about these kids in the barrio.
You've been listening to Didi Garcia Blaze on the Que Onda show with my guest, Adan Hernandez, an artist who's done several pieces for Blood In and Blood Out. And you're going to find out from this break why, you know, several museums and foundations and so forth are really not Chicano friendly, essentially, according to Adan Hernandez, and you're going to hear from him, an artist who is part of Cheech Marin's Chicano art collection. You're going to hear directly from his lips why he believes this and why Chicanos need to get behind him in opening up a Chicano Fine Art Gallery in San Antonio, Texas.
We'll return in a moment with the Que Onda Show as we cover the entertainment world. Need to get away for a while to rejuvenate? Then consider a vacation house in the beautiful East Valley of Mesa, Arizona, near a variety of water parks, rivers, and lakes, and other types of entertainment to wash the stress away. Just go to www.redmountainstay.com to get started on your vacation arrangements. Or call 480-436-9005 to reserve your stay. Also a great idea for Arizona residents wanting a vacay stay. Corporate housing is also available. Ask your representative for more details.
A message from George Lopez.
Today's library is not what you remember. It's even better. Want to research your next vacation? Get homework help? Write a resume? Surf the web? Or maybe you just want to curl up with your favorite book and enjoy some peace and quiet. It's all here. It's all at your library.
A message from the American Library Association's campaign for America's libraries.
A public service announcement from your friends at CRN Live.
Now, let's continue with the K-Onda Show.
And we're back on the K-Onda Show with my guest, Adan Hernandez, an artist well known for his Blood In, Blood Out artwork. Adan Hernandez has also been part of Cheech Marin's Chicano art collection. This Chicano Fine Arts Museum, is it still there in existence in San Antonio?
No, we're trying to create it by opening up my art gallery, El Otro Ojo, Galería de Arte Atómico, here in San Antonio. And the reason I call it El Otro Ojo is because we are the other consciousness of America. We are the pure consciousness of America. We love family. We love each other. We laugh hard. We don't squabble over money as much as other people do. And Galería de Arte Atómico is because I feel we're still stuck in the 50s, in the atomic age. We still dress the same. We love the oldies from those times because it was an innocent time, you know. And that's what's beautiful about our Raza, that we cling to the beauty of life that was once, you know, there for everybody.
El Otro Ojo is the new gallery name?
We're trying to open up this new gallery through this fundraising that we're doing, and we're going to have a big fundraiser event July 11th, this coming Saturday at 5 p.m., and it's going to be at 8800 Broadway in San Antonio, Texas, just one traffic light north of 410 Expressway. And we have a fundme.com / Adan Hernandez website up that people can donate money, or they can go to my PayPal account, Adan Hernandez Art at yahoo.com, and donate there. And I, you know, like people who donate over $50 get a free signed print from me. And they're all also eligible to be included in this raffle where they can win one of my paintings, one of my small paintings. So, yeah, this is kind of going down. It's going to be a big car show, food vendors, going to be music. Got a rapper coming from Dallas who's going to be down here joining us. I forget his name, but he is a rising star. I just met him last week.
I'm glad that we're doing this. This show is going to air this week, obviously, and I want to underscore that there is an upcoming fundraiser July 11th at 5 o'clock p.m. at 8800 Broadway in San Antonio to essentially promote Chicano Arte via El Otro Ojo, a gallery that Adan Hernandez, Adan is part of the Chicano collection that Cheech Marin chose to be part of that Chicano collection, and that's something to be spoken for.
And I would also like to give out my email in case people want to get more information about the event. Like, I don't know I can't remember the zip code right now, but if you email me at Adan Hernandez 705 at gmail.com, we can give you the other information. Maybe me not personally, but I have assistants who can do that.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. How come you never fell into the trap of the drug culture? What's that message that you want to permeate, to extend and go on and on and on? Because, you know, even though that this show is going to be aired on radio stations that focus in on the Chicanos, It's going to be uploaded in YouTube, and I want your words to carry on. What made you avoid the drug culture and pitfalls?
I think it was because we had such a tight family unit. We had tios, tias, abuelitos, abuelitas. In Robstown, when I was growing up, I lived there till I was 9. I mean, I was raised by that pueblo, all the Mexicanos there. We all worked together in the fields. All the white people lived on one part of town, that was segregated, heavily segregated. All the Mexicanos lived on the other part, and we were all the farm workers, So I attributed my, upraising to me staying out of that. I've never been attracted to that kind of lifestyle because I don't want to upset my parents and grandparents. To me, familia is very, very powerful, and it's everything, When you strip everything away, the only people left to stand behind you is your familia. And these days, the family unit has broken up. There's been a lot of divorces, a lot of unwed, births from unwed mothers. And there's just a family unit has just disintegrated. Our values have gone down the drain. And I attribute a lot of that to a mainstream culture. The mass media in the television, and everybody on TV is divorced, and the kids are living over here with the dad on the weekends and the mom. It's just the family unit has just taken a beating. And it's sad to see it. I just think that is what keeps people, chavalitos and chavalitas, that's what keeps them doing the right thing, is to have their family behind them, to encourage them, to help them, to guide them. I mean, we all need that. That's why me and Jesse go out and talk to kids, because a lot of them come from broken homes, and they don't have a father or mother figure. And they look at us, for understanding and for guidance. And, some of them for their very existence. They look for us for advice for their very existence, for their very survival.
Well, I want to thank you for appearing as a guest on the ¿Qué Onda show, a show that promotes the Chicanos and Mexican-American artists y Latinos. And just talking to you, just these short few minutes, I can really sense and feel and hear how you wear your heart on your sleeve, and I can certainly understand why some of your arte is portrayed by many as dark. Because I think that our hearts burn for la gente, Raza, and thank you so much for your contributions. Do you have any final words?
I just wanted to encourage our gente, to just look out for each other, support each other, back each other up, because really when you look at it and the big picture, we have only each other. We're not supported by anybody else in this country. We only have each other to look up to and to have as respalde, as esquina, to help us through our lives and to reach our goals.
Absolutely. I learned that the hard way. Thank you again. Thank you again.
Okay, Titi.
Thank you again.
It was a pleasure. Okay, bueno.
Thank you again, and I hope we become really good friends.
And the next time I want to talk about my novel that I wrote about the barrio.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, Los Briosos.
Are you done with the novel?
Oh, yeah. It was published in 2006.
Oh, what's the name of it?
Los Briosos, A Tale from the Barrio. Briosos is spelled Bryossos, like, like Chicano.
Okay, okay.
Los Briosos. I can send you a picture of it, okay?
You got it. Ándale. We'll keep you.
I'll send you a picture of the cover. It's to give the kids their own heroes and heroines.
Okay. I'll wait for it, and I'll see you online. Hasta luego.
Okay, amiga.
Let's continue with the ¿Qué Onda show and its educational content in a moment. Need to get away for a while to rejuvenate? Then consider a vacation house in the beautiful East Valley of Mesa, Arizona, near a variety of water parks, rivers, and lakes, and other types of entertainment to wash the stress away. Just go to www.redmountainstay.com to get started on your vacation arrangements. Or call 480-436-9005 to reserve your stay. Also a great idea for Arizona residents wanting a vacay stay. Corporate housing is also available. Ask your representative for more details.
A message from George Lopez.
Today's library is not what you remember. It's even better. Want to research your next vacation, get homework help, write a resume, surf the web? Or maybe you just want to curl up with your favorite book and enjoy some peace and quiet. It's all here. It's all at your library.
A message from the American Library Association's campaign for America's libraries.
A public service announcement from your friends at CRN Live.
Now, let's continue with the K-Onda Show.
Hi, this is Didi Garcia Blaze with the brand new Que Onda Show, a radio show for Chicanos, Latinos, and anybody who loves Chicanos and Latinos. What we do on the show is we shed the light and we put the spotlight on Chicano artists, Mexican-American artists, and Latinos, and those who don't mind working with us. With me today is a brilliant artist, Antonio Pelayo, and I was given the lovely opportunity to see his work at the Disney Studios, and his drawings are just so photographic like. When I saw some of his works, it looked like photographs to me. It was breathtaking, and I was taken aback. Welcome to the show, Antonio.
Thank you, Didi, for having me.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself and your artist background.
Okay. Well, I've been drawing since I was a little boy, probably 2 years old. Growing up, had dreams of working for Disney, and I realized that dream when I was 19. And been at Disney since 1993. Because of Disney, I started exhibiting my work in 2000. In 2000, I had my first exhibit here. I got exposed to my first art exhibit through work, and I got excited about that idea about creating artwork and, having other people criticize it or admire it, whatever it was. So then I decided to start working on a portfolio, and then eventually I got picked up by a really famous artist, Retina, and he exhibited my work for the first time out at an official gallery in 2005. And so my art career took off from there, and then somewhere down the line I started curating small exhibits, and then in 2010, I decided to produce a big event, and I launched El Velorio, which is a Day of the Dead event. So it was basically an exhibit that had about 100 local artists, and we also had a concert part of it. So that 5 years doing that event, more ideas popped up about producing other themed events. And so the one we're working on right now is a Lowrider event called LA Story. Opens up July 25th at Plaza de la Raza. So that's our current project.
Nice. Now, on exodusevents.org, I see a somewhat of a pinkish...
Yes, it's a 54 Impala. That car is called the Gypsy Rose. The original owner was Jesse Borrego, and that's actually the main focus of this Lowrider event. This vehicle is one of the most influential lowrider cars in existence, and we decided to highlight it and make it the focal point of the whole event. And basically, the event is a tribute to the lowrider culture, and everything is going to be around the Gypsy Rose. So we have an exhibit part. We have about 40 local visual artists in the exhibit, ranging from graffiti artists, photographers, pencil artists, painters, and a few sculptors. And we also have a concert side where we have our headliner, Tierra.
And Tierra is well known amongst the Chicano and Latino circles. Are you having another band as well? Isn't it LSR?
Yes, it's LSR Expose. And Tierra is our headliner, and we're also having 4 DJs. We have Tokes in the main stage, and then in the back stage we have DJ Gargamel, Christina Irene from San Diego, and Chauncey P. from Oxnard.
Nice. Now, the lowrider culture seems to keep growing thanks to countries like Japan, and I see it growing here in the Southwest. Recently here in Phoenix, we had our very first huge indoor lowrider event. We haven't had one like that in several years, and it's critical to have an indoor one here in Phoenix because of the heat. Did you get any requests by lowrider car owners thinking that this was a lowrider event instead of a lowrider art exhibit?
We've gotten probably over 200 requests from car owners. Yeah, they probably thought, and people think that this is a car show, but it's not going to be just a car show. We are having a very small car show. We're probably going to feature like 10 cars, and this is presented by the Peterson Automotive Museum. Due to Plaza not having the room, we can't accommodate that. So what we did, we had to ask the city for permission for us to use a little corner of Plaza for us to be able to, have some cars there. So the Peterson Museum is providing about half of the cars, and then the other half we're hand-picking them. So, yeah, maybe in the future when we, book a bigger venue, we'll open it up for all the car clubs to bring their cars in. And then it'll be a huge event. But for this launch, it's just going to be a very small, intimate event. Which
it's more art-driven, correct? More like
yes,
painting.
Exactly. Right.
And it's my understanding that the paintings, the drawing, the graffiti, it's going to center around cars, lowriders, and things of that nature, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the exhibit is going to be themed. Anything lowrider themed, you'll see up on the wall of the exhibit.
I'm glad that you're out in front of this and that your event production company is ahead of the curve because I see the lowrider culture exploding. The more I talk to Chicano and Latino artists that are here in the Southwest, I see it growing. I see more of us organizing. I mean, do you see that in SoCal as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I grew up with it. And it's just an amazing culture. So what we want to, pay tribute to it, and at the same time, have people learn about it as you come to the event by the music and by the exhibit.
In our last segment, we spoke with Adan Hernandez. He's one of the blood in, blood out artists, well known for his artwork, and he was part of the Cheech Marin Chicano collection. And the lowrider culture to me has always kind of been, well, not kind of, it's been part of our identity, and in my view, and I want to know what your thoughts are, we take pride in restoring cars, and like just a quick little story, my father restored trucks and cars, and I remember one of the things that he would say, because I would ask him, well, why did you choose this car instead of that car? And he almost kind of had this, it was to the tune of making do with the very little money that he had growing up. So, you know, like my dad, who restored cars, he just tried to make something very beautiful, restoring an automobile that he would buy from a junkyard. And what was that moment for you, Antonio? What was that moment for you? Why is the lowrider culture important to you? What is it? I told you kind of a little story of why it's something to
my story is similar. I grew up in Highland Park, where the lowrider scene is, you know, it's big. And it did pretty much the same thing. My dad one day rolls up in a 1970 Dodge Dart and beat up car, and then, you know, he restores it. And I got to witness that growing up. So to me, it's like, you know, the vehicle becomes like your best friend, and you take them on, and you're going to take care of it, and you're going to make it look beautiful. And then it becomes part of your family, and you know, you're never going to let that car go, because it's like family. It's like having like a pet, I guess. So for me, that, you know, aside from being an artist, looking at the vehicles as a piece of artwork, when I create a piece of artwork, whether it's animation or pencil, it's very difficult for me to let go. You get attached to it. So I can relate to the culture because I guess because I'm an artist, and I see these vehicles as art.
Now, I know this event is not limited to just the Chicano and Latino community. I know that it welcomes every walk of life. Will you, and I've noticed here in the Southwest that the Rockabilly car clubs work very closely, and some of those Rockabilly members, car club members, are Chicanos, but I've kind of noticed a shift where these Rockabilly car clubs are working with Chicano Lowrider, the Chicano Lowrider community. Have you seen that, and are you kind of incorporating that too, opening up your doors to everything car-wise?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my events, you know, I pride myself from producing my events as a multicultural event. I mean, you know, the art exhibit curator is the famous skateboarder, photographer, Pep Williams. And we have artists from all walks of life exhibiting their artwork in the exhibit. So, yes, absolutely.
Good. And I see here that the LA Story art exhibit, where you're going to be exhibiting lowriders, is going to be July 25th, and the tickets are $25. Can you tell the audience where to buy those tickets and more?
Yes, tickets are $25 right now, and they can get them on exodusevents.org or lastory.eventbrite.com. If it doesn't sell out, we will have them at the door for $30.
Are you pretty close to selling out?
We're getting close. Yep.
Okay. Well, I hope those who are listening will support this event in SoCal for July 25th. If you love lowrider art, and if you love lowriders, there's going to be about 10 to a dozen of them there too, including the Gypsy Rose car, a very famous lowrider here in the United States. And thank you for coming to the show, Antonio. Is there anything you want to end with?
Yes, you know, we appreciate the support. I just want to let you guys know that this event is a benefit for Plaza de la Raza. So part of the proceeds of the exhibit, actually, we're going to have an auction part of it. That part is 100% for Plaza, and then part of the exhibit goes to Plaza de la Raza. So come out, bring your wallets, and buy a piece of artwork, and know that you're, you know, supporting Plaza de la Raza, which is an iconic cultural center that teaches art to the kids.
Well, thank you so much, Antonio, and I hope to see you.
We'll see you on the 25th.
Ándale.
You've been listening to The K-Onda Show with your host, Dee Dee Blaze. This program is the property of Star Sound Music Group, Hollywood, California, and is available for syndication by emailing your request to affiliates@kondashow.com or call toll-free 213-283-STAR. Educational institutions, please call to see if your school qualifies for free licensing on your campus radio station. This program was produced by Dee Dee Garcia Blaze. Executive producer is Frank Miranda. Imaging by David Tyler. Thank you for listening to The K-Onda Show. Don't forget to pencil The K-Onda Show in your calendar. The program airs Thursday nights at 7 p.m. and then again on Sundays at 5 p.m. here on CRN Live.